Well, that was a thing that happened in my neighborhood. Who would have thought that Hollywood would actually come to our little humble town of Fairfax? Except it would come in the form of the most bickering of couples. So what, if anything, happened here? Now, I've spoken to some of the locals around here, and quite frankly, they're quite sick of it. Sure, there are plenty of fans standing outside the courtroom cheering on Johnny Depp, but a lot of those guys are from out of town, including that one Canadian that I could spot from a mile away because elves are not native to this region of Virginia. Dwarves, on the other hand, well, depends on whether you count anyone below 5'1" as a dwarf.
Do I look 5'1", bitch?
And as far as lizard folk, you might want to check with the swamp up north for that. But you gotta remember, the jury pool is selected from the various locals around here. And all it takes is for one disgruntled local Virginian to screw up the entire case. Not to mention, defamation is one of the hardest cases to prove.
You forgot one very important thing, mate. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
That said, I feel I may have to eat my words a little bit. In a stream not too long ago, I was effectively mocking that umbrella guy for making his entire channel about one couple's dispute for the past few, years maybe. It's also the kind of thing that, that umbrella guy has been talking about for quite a while now. Part of the reason, I'm a fan of Tug, but part of the reason why I stopped watching his streams is that I already know Amber Heard's a cunt. How many streams do I need to watch to realize that? It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. I've looked at his channel, and there were so many backlogs of videos that have Amber Heard bombshells in the title. Seeing video titles like Amber Heard bombshell after bombshell after bombshell, declaring a checkmate on a game board where the pieces barely moved. Except this time, they moved. And as it turns out, if you obsess over Amber Heard for long enough, her own lawyer will start seeing ghostly visions of you throughout the entire courtroom like you're some kind of Slender Man figure.
Now, so you reached out to the umbrella guy in this text, this Twitter, right?
I wouldn't call it reaching out.
In fact, the umbrella guy is in Mr. Adam Waldman. Do you know who Adam Waldman is?
I have no idea.
Well, he's testified earlier that he talks to the umbrella guy.
That he what? He talks to the umbrella guy?
Yeah. Were you aware of that?
I honestly, this sounds like schizophrenia.
That's it. There are plenty of quotable moments and precious gems that have come out of this trial. So much so that it stopped being a trial and started turning into a Phoenix Wright game. Between guys driving around in video depositions, to Christopher Lloyd body doubles.
This whole medical system we have, this whole legal system we have, is null and void.
I'm not saying...
No, yes, you are, sir. No, you are.
Give me a second.
Christ! I was frozen today!
To the lawyer objecting to his own fucking self?
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay.
No.
To TMZ doing the Uno reverse card.
Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
Now, I was gonna see the whole shit show live myself, but I work a night job that doesn't let me get out till at least 6. And there's no way I'm going to compete in line with guys who have been camping out there since 1 o'clock a.m. There are people waiting in line like they're trying to get a PlayStation 2. So you're not going to get an inside scoop or a view of how the inside of the courtroom was reacting, or the tone, or the jury, or anything like that from me. It's just going to be a general impression of what this whole thing was like from a guy living in proximity to all of this. And watching stan culture happening in our very streets instead of just being regulated to an online space is kind of a surreal feeling. In a sense, it's a kind of a festival-like atmosphere. Something that's not uncommon on downtown Fairfax, and it's all seemingly populated by young, college-age kids. True, it's mostly college girls, but I've seen a couple of guys bring their girlfriends along as well. And I've seen a couple of middle-aged and even some older ladies among the bunch. So it's not exclusively populated by a bunch of fangirls, but there are quite a bit of them. Which is unsurprising since the courthouse is within spitting distance of George Mason University. Beyond that, life went on as normal outside of downtown Fairfax. And as far as who believes Johnny and who believes Amber, it all depends on where they're getting their sources. People who follow mainstream media outlets tend to lean more towards the Amber side of things. Then again, I've seen television media chop up a few witness testimonies, editing out things that you would have gotten from a live showing. At one point, I saw the TV cut to a live witness testimony 30 minutes after that testimony was finished, and then interrupt parts of it with a pair of talking heads talking over it. So, shout out to Ricada Law, Legal Bites, Asmongold, and various others who have been watching this entire thing and reacting to it live, uncut and unedited. And yes, even Law and Crime Network. The sheer fact that I have to go to these channels just to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, along with a bit of commentary, really says a lot about the state of our television media. And while old boomers are stuck being pre-programmed by Rachel Maddow or whoever, those hooked onto the online world tends to lean more towards the Johnny Depp side of things, especially since there's no shortage of experts critiquing the whole thing as they're watching it. Experts that don't look like a supervillain from a Saturday morning cartoon show. Seriously, Amber, looks do matter. And as much as you would like to say that Johnny Depp is trying to get by with his wit and charm, are we seriously not going to say the same about Miss Heard over there with her attempt at showing tears?
My dog stepped on a bee. What does it say? And the worst thing has just happened to me. Didn't physically hurt me. He's down on his knees. That was so scary.
Then I took an arrow in the knee.
I was stung by a bee when I was having a wee.
But no matter which way this court was going to go, we all know that Johnny has won the court of public opinion. If anything else, I think that was the true victory he was going for in the first place. But if there was ever a true victor in all this, it would be Camille Vasquez, the true She-Hulk attorney at law.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing. When you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Miss Moss to agree to testify that that never happened.
And I screamed because I was in, because I didn't know what had happened to me and I was in pain. And he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
She absolutely medical records to you.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation. Objection, leading. Foundation, hearsay. Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation. Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation calls for speculation. Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, Your Honor, leading. Objection, leading and hearsay. Objection, Your Honor, this is outside the scope of cross-examination. Objection, Your Honor. Leading calls for speculation, and lack of foundation.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right. Ma'am, you can have a seat next to your attorney, okay?
But no matter who the real winner is, struggles like this will continue to happen because we live in a society that awards victimhood. And when one thing nets a reward, you will always have counterfeiters. This is Scarfy, and remember, beware the counterfeit victim.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and Facebook culture's wreck. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and Facebook culture's wreck. That has to change. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a very weighty evidence that question statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, defamatory implication